How's it going? Take two. Hopefully the audio is okay. I'm gonna like move this over a little bit just to make sure. How we doing? So there was a little bit of technical difficulties. I tried to use my mic, but that didn't work. So take two. I have notes also. You see, look down. So heavy feelings. That's what I titled this. That's part of what I titled this. So I think it's only fitting that I be dealing with a lot of heavy feelings right now, right? Like, makes sense. Yeah, sorry. If you appreciate this video, if you resonate with this, you should definitely check out the link, or not the link, the description down below. There's a link with a lot of other links, a lot of other things. If you want to check that out down below, down in the description. If not, it's okay. No hard feelings, except for the ones that I have. So today's been an interesting day. I think the last week has been somewhat interesting, and one thing that I wrote down is, well, should I like say it like that? I don't know, it sounds really robotic. Like, I wrote it down that I'm getting over my ex. And I don't even know if I'm doing that, but like, that's what I wrote down. I took a walk not too long ago. I just got back from a walk, meditated, and I was thinking about how like, not fully over my ex, and, or at least the feelings related to it, I guess, I don't know. And also, hopefully, my alarm doesn't, I think my alarm's about to go off. If it does, oops, I warned you. Yeah. There's a lot of heavy feelings, and I think there's not one size fits all when it comes to like heavy feelings. There's like so many different ways to handle like feelings and emotions and stuff. And I don't know, one way that I handle feelings, the one way that I handle emotions is like creating like art, like creativity, like art. Why was I wanting to say artisanal? I've never done anything artisanal in my life. Artistry. Hello, welcome. Thank you for tapping the screen. Hi, hi. One thing that I like to do is creating, like, you know, making videos and stuff like that. And one thing that I used to do is drugs. And I'm not gonna get too much into that, but that's also a way that a lot of people cope. And obviously it's not healthy. It's not healthy, no judgment if you do that, but yeah, that's definitely something that I've kind of had to like revisit recently without saying too much. And yeah, dealing with these feelings has been a lot. Definitely a lot. I'm very thankful like for the way that like things are unfolding and the way that like I have been able to deal with them, because I have had the space to like deal with them appropriately. And one thing, I see some people joining, hello. One thing I would say, I don't know if anybody needs to hear this, but when you're getting over something, when you're like acclimating, when you're trying to like heal, as people say, be careful about telling people things that you're trying to get over or things that you're trying to heal. Like, not saying that everybody's out to get you, not saying that everybody's untrustworthy, but like a lot of the time, if you're not careful, you will tell people things and they will turn around and like throw it in your face. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not always, it's usually not intentional. Sometimes it is, but usually it's not intentional. It's just like the way that things go. I've noticed like the way that the universe works, if you will, the way that unseen forces work, you know, like a lot of people unknowingly get used, you know what I mean? It's like, it's interesting, very much so. Hello, welcome. Thank you for tapping the screen. Well, if you see me looking down, I have notes. I wrote notes because I'm kind of overly organized sometimes. Yeah, it's usually not intentional. It's usually not like a conscious effort, but like a lot of times people will like use what you tell them against you, and you have to really be careful about that. Like there are very few people in the world, I think, who are like, I'm trying to figure out the right words, are strong enough, are like aware enough as to where they won't use that stuff against you, or they won't be used to, you know what I mean? And whether or not we call it like the devil or like evil or darkness or whatever, like it's resistance, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to get ahead, you're trying to do something with yourself, and like then you like when you tell yourself like I'm gonna like start exercising, and then it starts raining, and it's like dang, now I can't go jogging. Well, you could, but then I'm gonna get wet. Or like you tell yourself you're gonna go on a diet, and then like now, like you have all this temptation in front of you now. Like there's like randomly cookies that get delivered to your house, and it's like, what? I didn't order no cookies. Why are the cookies here? That's kind of an extreme example, but you know what I mean? Like it's resistance. That's like whether or not we call it evil or whatever. Like it's resistance. Like you know, you're trying to do something, and then like now you have to like face that. You have to be like, well, I said I was gonna do this. Now I have to do this, even though I'm going up a hill. Even though things are more difficult. And that's just how things go. And that's why a lot of people, unfortunately, don't do what they want to do. That's unfortunately why a lot of people don't, you know, reach the levels of success that they want, because there's always going to be some sort of resistance. There's always going to be some sort of like uphill battle, you know. And you should definitely be careful about telling your goals and plans to other people. Not because they're evil, but because the energy, you know, like I've definitely made that mistake too many times. I am a Gemini sun. I have a lot of Virgo on my chart, so there's that. But I'm a Gemini sun. I like to share. I like to talk. When I'm comfortable, I like to talk. And I've had to like restrain recently, like to not say too much, you know, especially in my readings. Because like when I do readings, I like to say everything that comes through. But sometimes some things are not meant to be said. Some things are just for me, or some things are just for like context. And that's something I've had to deal with. I've had to like learn how to like not share so much. There are some people out there though who are evil though. Hopefully nobody watching is evil. Hopefully you're awesome. Hopefully you're amazing, right? I don't know. I don't know who's watching, but thanks for hanging out. Another thing that I wrote, because once again I have notes. Growth is always uncomfortable. And that's also another reason why people don't reach the levels of success that they want, because it is uncomfortable. Facing yourself, facing your darkness. It is very uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. It's not comfortable. And if you are the type of person to like run away from discomfort, I promise you, I can't promise you very much, but I can promise you that you will like have a harder time reaching success. Whatever your definition of success is. Also, the AC is turning on, so hopefully that's not a fucking issue. If somebody could tell me if the audio changed, I don't think it did, but like if somebody could tell me, hopefully it didn't. I don't know. I could turn it off. But yeah, discomfort is a part of the journey. Discomfort is part of growth, and sometimes you just have to be a man about it, or a woman, whatever your gender orientation is. You know? It's very uncomfortable as we evolve, as we develop, as we tap into different parts of ourselves, you know? As we stretch ourselves. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I wanted it to be like 30 minutes at least. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Because I've gone through most of what I wrote down. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. I'm assuming that the audio is okay since nobody said anything. Hopefully the audio is okay. If the audio is not okay, obviously you probably wouldn't be able to tell me if it's not okay because you couldn't hear me. If the audio is, could somebody please, I would really appreciate if somebody could give me an audio check so they could be like, yeah, I can hear you, dumbass, like, something. But like, yeah, if somebody could tell me if the audio is okay, that'd be awesome. I have one more thing that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to open the floor if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants to get any cards pulled or whatever. So, yeah. I'll be right back. I guess nobody wants to participate in the stream and tell me if the audio is okay. I guess nobody wants to be a team player. That's okay. I'll be the team player. I turned off the AC, it's turning off. Hello, welcome. Hopefully you can hear me. I turned off the AC. It's turning off. I'm pretty sure the audio is still okay, but just for my own sake, because I don't know. The last thing I wrote down was archetypes. That was like what I wrote down. So kind of excited to talk about that a little bit. So, and then after that, once again, if anybody wants to ask any questions, if you'd like to get a card pull, you can ask. I have cards if you want. If not, then I'll just, oh my God, advertisement. Then I'll just close this out and then it'll just be that. Once again, I wanted this to be 30 minutes. I don't think this is gonna be 30 minutes. I failed myself. Just kidding. I'm just being silly. Shout out to the crickets in the room. Anyways, archetypes. What are archetypes? I was looking into archetypes the other day because a creator that I follow was talking about archetypes. And basically, if you don't know what archetypes are, they're basically like, dang, I should have did a little bit of research before so I could like know exactly what to say. Fuck. I feel embarrassed. Basically, archetypes are like caricatures, character types, if you will. Different traits, different attributes, different qualities that one can embody. And the point of them is to understand ourselves and understand how we show up in the world. I forgot who exactly she was talking about. I know she mentioned Marilyn Monroe, but I think she was talking about a more modern figure as well. I can't remember, but and Marilyn Monroe would be like a siren sort of energy. That was part of her archetype. Can I think of anything else in this moment? No, but that was one big thing for her. I'm trying to think. And I know for me, I definitely have quite a few that I tune into regularly. I know that I have the siren quality. I don't like tapping into it. I don't. I used to. I don't like tapping into that. I don't like having people perceive me sexually. I don't. That's just my honest truth. But I know that if I were to lean into that, that would definitely be something. But I do tune into the mystique, or what is it? The mystic. The mystic. Also the, I wrote this down for myself the other day, and actually I think it's in here. So many pages. Did I not write down? I didn't. I know I did. I think I wrote it down over here. Pretty sure I wrote it down over in this book. Oh my gosh. Where did it go? What happened? Guys, what happened? I thought I wrote it down. I did write it down. I don't know what happened to it. Gosh golly, gee willikers. This is embarrassing. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know who all is here, but thanks for your presence. Hopefully this is useful to somebody. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. I don't know. Oh my god. I know I wrote it down. I might have thrown it away because it was just a personal. I was writing it for myself. found it. I found it. Archetypes. I'm gonna have to keep my page. Archetypes. So for me, I wrote down the seeker, the alchemist, the sage, the artist, the siren, kind of, because once again, I don't like tapping into that. Don't perceive me sexually. You're gross. You're disgusting. Just kidding. You're amazing. We have the mystic, the mirror, the muse, the lover, and the star. And once again, the point of this is to understand ourselves and to know exactly how we're coming across to others. And to some degree, you do and you don't get to choose. Most of us are born with different attributes, different qualities, and we grow into them, you know? But you also do get to choose because at the same time, you know, low-key, we all have everything within us, but it's a matter of whether or not you tap into it, so, you know. And when I was talking about ChatGPT, yes, I do use ChatGPT, sue me. They kind of suggested that the seeker was my primary archetype. Like, I tend to seek meaning, I tend to search for meaning in, like, everyday things. And there's a lot of different types of archetypes. You can look up Carl Jung. He has different archetypes that he coined or discovered or whatever. And there's other types of types. Very eloquent, very nice choice of words. And once again, knowing these about yourself, knowing which one you lean towards, definitely can be helpful. We could use the word shadow work. I'm not going to, but I just did, I guess. Which I did mention, I talked about that on TikTok earlier. I was on stream over there. Shadow work. It sounds scary, but it's really just getting to know yourself, embracing yourself, accepting yourself. I'm gonna look something up real quick. Thanks for hanging out, whoever happens to be here. If you are here, you're very appreciated. You should check out the link, check out the description down below for your information. If you're watching real time, if you like a Ricardo, if you have a question, whatever, check out the description. Yeah, and then after this, I'm gonna like open the floor if anybody has any questions, if you'd like to suggest anything, if you'd like to ask for advice, whatever. What? Why would you say that? That was stupid. The information that they gave me was really unhelpful. Because before this moment, I was talking about emojis. Because somebody sent a gray emoji on TikTok stream, and I was like, what does the gray emoji mean? Because I'd never seen anybody use that. And then I guess they assumed that I was talking about that. Why would they even, what? No. Wait, what? So I love ChatGPT, but sometimes they're super unhelpful. Like, and I pay for that. You would think that when you pay for it, you would get the most use out of it. But like sometimes they're just so unhelpful. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, what is an archetype? I already explained what an archetype is. It's a universal pattern or a personality, behavior, or symbolism that shows up across cultures, myths, religions, stories, and psychology. The idea is most famously associated with Carl Jung, who believed archetypes are recurring patterns within the collective unconscious. There is not one universally accepted list, but here are the most well-known. I'm not going to read all of them, but we have the hero, we have the creator, the magician, the lover, the jester, which is kind of similar to the magician, the trickster, you know. We also have the ruler, not like a ruler like measurement, but like a ruler like as in a leader, obviously. I know that you probably didn't need me to explain that, but hopefully somebody got a laugh out of that. I laughed in my head. Anyways, some other archetypes you'll hear about: mother, father, child, warrior, king, queen, mentor, trickster, I mentioned trickster, mystic, I already talked about the mystic, the healer, the orphan, the visionary, the judge, the destroyer, the phoenix, and the priest/priestess. YouTube suggested a Q&A sticker, and it was the most stupidest thing I've ever. It's not stupid. It's actually a interesting question, but why? Like what? Anyways. And then there's also shadow archetypes. Many archetypes have healthy and unhealthy expression, which I didn't really think to talk about at all, but I guess that's important. The caregiver, their shadow is the martyr, somebody who self-sacrifices, somebody who overgives. The lover, the shadow element of that is obsession, somebody who's obsessed. I love you until I can't breathe anymore, which is a little bit extreme, but you know. The sage, the shadow element of the sage is the know-it-all, smarty pants. The ruler has the shadow element of the dictator. The creator is the perfectionist. The innocent is the denial. Ooh, denial. Okay, and then it's giving me personal stuff because I'm writing a thing. I didn't ask for that, but thank you. That didn't add anything, but thank you. Hello, welcome. What's up? We're just talking about archetypes, and then I'm gonna like open the floor after this. So if you have any questions, if you like the card pull, check out the description. All you really have to do is give the stream a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, thumbs up and subscribe, and then also put your question in the chat, obviously. After I'm done with this, don't you dare do it now. Wait, please, thank you. I love ChatGPT so much, but sometimes they're so unhelpful because oh my God. I guess this is helpful because I wanted to be on here for a certain amount of time, and this is hopefully helping that because it's stretching the time. Archetypes, dude. So a good question, I think, to ask yourself, if you care about archetypes, if you care about what I'm talking about, is what is your archetype? You know, because we all have the ability to tap into many different archetypes, but like being conscious of it and being intentional about it can definitely be super helpful, super game changing. I'm sorry, that was a stupid way to say that. Can be super life changing. That's better. You know, and none of them are inherently bad. Once again, they all have like healthy expressions and not so healthy expressions. It's just a matter of balance and like intentionality, you know, like the gesture, the trickster. A lot of people would characterize this as to be like negative, but like it's not. It's the funny man. It's the jokester. But the negative aspect of that can be quite negative. It can be a troublemaker. You know. And I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes we need a troublemaker, but you know, for obvious reasons, a troublemaker is not something to necessarily look up to. That's a good question. Which archetype do you think society rewards the most? That's a good question. That's what they posed. Which one does society neglect? Ooh. Well, I can't speak for the whole society, so that's kind of a difficult question. Which archetype have you outgrown? That's a good one. And which archetype are you becoming? I already know my answer for that. Actually, I know several answers, so not just one answer. So yeah, archetypes for you if you gave it to, if you cared about that. Do your own research, you know, figure it out on your own if you want to. If you don't, then I guess I'm just talking into the void. But hopefully somebody got something out of this, past, present, or future. If you did, engage with the video, give me a thumbs up, check out the link, or check out the description down below for the link, and like there's music and books and stuff and whatever. I'm gonna hang out for the next like 5 minutes or so, unless somebody has any questions or like wants to, you know, share their thoughts or whatever. So you have the floor. So I'm gonna be right back. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. Right back. Got some water. Thank you so much for not trying to interrupt the stream. I've had a lot of interruptions with your streams recently. A lot of people asking questions when it's not the right time to ask questions and stuff like that. So I'm saying thank you. I salute your patience. Once again, I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes, like 3 more minutes, I think, unless somebody has any questions or whatever. If you have any questions, once again, just make sure to like, give the thumbs up, and subscribe, and I got you. So. Water, so good. Do you have water? Have you had water today? If not, maybe you should. Just a suggestion. I have a feeling nobody's gonna ask any questions, but I'm gonna still stay on for like 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna close this out. So, honestly, thank you for hanging out. I don't know how many people this will reach or whatever, but thank you. And if you have any questions while I'm still on here, you're welcome to put it in the chat. Just make sure to, once again, thumbs up. I keep doing this. This is not a thumbs up. This is an L. Thumbs up and subscribe if you want to ask questions. If you like me to get you some card pulls or whatever. If not, whatever. There's a burp that doesn't want to come out. One more minute, and I'm gonna close this out. Okay, a few more moments, a few more seconds, then. Once again, if you are here, past, present, or future, check out the description down below. Okay, my time's up. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope this was useful to you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you got something out of this. If you don't know, you should know that miracles happen all the motherfucking time. And whatever you're going through is freaking temporary. So try to keep your head up, bro. Keep your spirits high. And I thank you for your time and energy. I hope you know that you are loved and very much so appreciated. And I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye.